Hi, this is Bobby Kimbrough, and welcome to Off the Cuffs. As always, I'm excited when we have guests here today. We have Carrie Collins. We always invite people to come to the show who make a difference. Some you may know and some you don't know. So we're very excited to have you. Welcome to Off the Cuffs today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So the pleasure is mine. So, we always give our guests a chance to tell us who you are, where you're from. Are you from Winston originally?
Originally from Dayton, Ohio, but have been here for a little over 25 years. So much to my mother's chagrin, I refer to Winston as home now.
Right. So what brought you to Winston 25 years ago?
I was recruited by a company called ISP Sports, which is now IMG College, for an internship, and I thought I would be here for a year and then move back home. And 24 years later, I'm still in Winston and love it.
Wow. So, we always ask people, when you came to Winston-Salem, so what are you doing now here in Winston?
So right now I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Advancement Officer for the YMCA of Northwest North Carolina. So what that means is I kind of direct all of our marketing, communications, digital, and philanthropic endeavors across our service area. And we span 7 different counties. So from Forsyth County all the way up to Wilkes County, over to Alexander, and then kind of back across 40.
So, what's that like? I always ask the question when we was talking about YMCAs, I guess people know the YMCAs from going there, working out, but the YMCAs to me are much more than that. I look back as a little boy growing up in Winston, going to the YMCA on Patterson Avenue when it was on Patterson with Mo Lucas, Jerry Dunlap, and all the folk that were there. I think about what the Y meant to me. It gave me spirituality. It gave me a different philosophy of life. It gave me hope. And also, there was always recreation there. But to me, the YMCA is more than recreation. So when I think about the YMCA, I think about all the things that go into making the YMCA what it is. And then, the question always comes to me, I always ask a little difficult every now and then, is that I've been to several YMCAs across the county. Mm-hmm. And I realize that all YMCAs are not created equally. And I always ask that question, why?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Y, as you mentioned, Sheriff, is really a place, and it's more than a gym and swim.
Right.
It is a place. It is more than just a gym and swim. It is a community, really pillar of our foundation, or pillar of our community, because our Ys really serve the spirit, mind, and body. There's lots of work that we do with our ESL programs, with our feeding program.
What does that mean?
English as a second language.
Okay.
So when people, obviously come into this community and need to learn that, we work a lot with that. We have achievers programs for our Black and Latino achievers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have youth and government programs to kind of teach and instill what government looks like as well. We have our e-learning programs right now, so helping kids to navigate what a virtual world looks like while mom and dad have to go to work. There's lots that we do to help instill confidence. And you had mentioned that sometimes the Ys don't feel equal, and that really some people have had that experience, and that is one of the things that we're trying to change. We're really repurposing our Y in East Winston, so the Winston Lake YMCA, which is which used to be where Patterson, the Patterson Avenue Y that you went to. So we're really repurposing that Winston Lake YMCA into a reach center. So, and that is a community resource center. And so really serving the community what it needs. And it needs that gym and swim, but it needs so much more than that. So what can we do for workforce development with partnerships? What can we do to help with food insecurities in that area? What can we do with education and tutoring at different age levels? What can we do with community-based health initiatives to help with the health disparities that are so prevalent in that community? But I would like to say that our Y is also very, very diverse. There's not many places that you can go where you could have a CEO of a company and somebody that's on financial assistance right next to each other on a treadmill working out and forming relationships and bonds. And so we're very proud of the Y being that safe space for people to go to.
So tell me, what's day-to-day like for you in your job capacity with the YMCA? What's that like?
Right now, we're still, like a lot of organizations.
Or should I say pre-COVID?
I was like, do you want the pre-COVID or the post-COVID answer?
Yeah. So I know that, life has changed now that we're in this post-COVID.
Right.
What's your day-to-day like pre-COVID?
Well, I think pre-COVID is really working with our branches and our donors and our members. How can we when I worked at the city of Winston-Salem back
Yeah, I
in the
remember
day.
you said you worked at the city.
Yeah, when I worked
in
at the
marketing,
city.
right?
Yeah, you got up every day to say, how can I make a resident's life better?
Right.
And that was kind of the mantra. And I think it really is for everybody that is in public service and in government. And I would say our mission is very similar. How can we get up and serve our communities and make our members' lives better? And so whether that is educating them about the programs that we have, what services we might provide that might make their experience better on a membership or on a camp side, what can we do, to help fund some of our philanthropic endeavors, because obviously things take money. And so what can we do, speaking to donors. So that was really a lot of the work pre-COVID. And quite honestly, post-COVID is similar to that as well. Our branches just look a little different right now until capacity levels increase and until people get more shots in arms and mask mandates are kind of are lessened a little bit. And so, but that's still the primary work of the Y. But it's also, really getting up every day to say, how can we benefit the community? So how can we promote what our food access programs look like? How can we change a child's life? And what does our safety around water program look like in May that we're getting ready to come up on? So how can we change a life and make sure that kids aren't drowning at the rates that they have been before in the past?
I love your energy and your enthusiasm, and just meeting you before the show, your energy, it transcends, and I think that is so much needed when we talk about our YMCAs, when we talk about diversity, that energy and that enthusiasm. I got a question for you. So how many Ys are there in Forsyth County, YMCAs? In
Forsyth County, we have 5 of them.
Got 5 of them.
Yeah, so you've got the William G. White Y, which is our kind of the downtown Y. You have Robin Hood Road. You have Kernersville.
I know they had a Y on Robin Hood.
Yep, Robin Hood Road. So and then the Kernersville family YMCA, the Jerry Long family YMCA.
That's Clemens, right? Jerry Long, right? Okay.
The Winston Lake family YMCA, and the Fulton YMCA. Actually, there are 6. Fulton right now, Fulton's kind of north side of town.
Off of 52.
Yeah, right off of 52 and Haynes Mill Road. So that one right now we still have closed right now until our capacity levels come up. But those are our main branches in Forsyth County.
So listen, I just had a question come in my head, right? And
those are always the best kind.
Yeah. And so I hate to put you on the spot with this ask, right? So let's say you say there's 6 Ys. You say?
Yeah,
7?
we have 6.
6 running, right?
6, 5 that are running. So we have.
So
6
let's say I had a group of kids, right, or a mentoring program, and couldn't afford membership at the YMCA, right? But they had a mentoring program or a mentor. How could I help them get access to the Y?
We never turn anyone away for their inability to pay. So
really?
we have financial scholarship programs to help kids and adults to help experience the YMCA, because again, the Y, you also need that physical.
I've never heard y'all didn't turn folk away.
We do. We have had that. That is one of the cornerstones of who we are as an organization. We're never going to turn anyone away. And teens are such a vital part of our community that are sometimes overlooked. And so we really need to make sure we have those.
So you saying that if I call this guy, right, he has a mentoring program. He has about 7 kids that he mentors every day. And I call him and I say, hey, Mr. Stevens, I just talked to Miss Collins, and she told me that the YMCA does not turn anybody away.
We don't.
So when you get to the front desk, tell them Miss Collins sent you. If there's any problems, call her.
That's right. Yes.
Really?
No, seriously, I would love to have him call me, because, with that mentoring program, he's doing such great work in the community. And so what can we do to help and support that? Because that's really what we do as an organization and as a community partners. We help support others and in helping them. But then also, what can we do to provide those youth? Because that mentoring program is probably one piece of their worldly pie that they need. So how else can we help? Can the exercise give them another outlet to help with their mental and their physical well-being, that to keep them away from doing stuff that what they shouldn't be doing? And so, or is there a way that maybe we could get them involved in Achievers program? So again, how can we work together with just those 7 youth?
You making my week. I'm gonna tell you why, right? So listen. So I got this idea. So let's say, here in our community, we're constantly talking about the breakdown or the gaps between certain issues, whether it's illiteracy, whether it's the violence, whether it's poverty, and so many things. So what if we come together and we can formulate some type of plan to where we're taking some of these kids off of the streets, placing them in a constructive mentoring program, and giving them access to the Y with adult supervision, not your staff, but adult supervision that will come with them, that will give them access to, as you referred to, swimming gym, some of the programs that you talked about. That right there would start to close the gap. That right there would be a difference maker in what the YMCA used to do for me growing up, walking from 25th Street all the way down Patterson. Couldn't wait to get to the YMCA to gym and swim and just to talk to Molucas, to step with the step team, and so many things that we did right there on Patterson Avenue.
Boss drummers, you had all
Boss
of it.
drummers, so you remember that?
I do remember the Boss drummers. That was pre my. I wasn't at the Y yet, but I remember the step team and the Boss drummers.
Yeah. Mo Lucas was legendary. Still is legendary, even though he's not there and he's going on home. But legendary. I mean, he changed so many lives at the YMCA. Him, Jerry, Mr. Dunlap. They changed so many young men's lives, mine included.
But you think about that. The life that they changed there was probably doing all the stuff that you didn't go to the Y to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's that intangible and that connection that you make with somebody at the organization, wherever you are. And so that's really what makes the Y.
I know times have changed now, but Mo Lucas had a paddle and he put it on you if you got out of hand. He had a cigar in his mouth that he never lit, that he chewed on. And Mo would get after you. But I remember going to the Y and they would have movie night. Literally. They would have a screen. The wall would be the screen. They have a movie projector, and you'd have movie night, and it took kids off of the street on a Friday or Saturday night. And then you get up in the morning, and Mo Luke's would always say, "Get up in the morning, have breakfast." That's the way he echoed it all the time. And you get up in the morning, and there was a line, and they were cooking pancakes for the kids. But looking back on that saved so many lives because some of us would have probably been on the streets doing some trickery or some tomfoolery, but instead we said, hey, we're going to the movie night, and they would give us a soda, a bag of chips, and something like that. And basically, that was like, wow, to be able to go there with a pillow, sleeping bag, watch the movie, get up, and someone feeds you. But doing all of that, they taught us things. We talked about real life issues. We talked about how do you get beyond this place? How do I get from where I am now to where I want to be? And so it was more than just swimming and the gym, but the YMCA means so much more, or then it meant so much more to all of us. And when I look at the YMCAs now, and just being transparent, is that I look at them now and I'm saying, I don't see the same role that they play now that they used to play, because for the most part, and I don't know, I'm just saying what I have seen and what I have been told is that the Ys are based on membership base, right? The funding comes off of membership. And so, I've always heard that when I would go to the East Winston Y, that the pool or this or that needed repair. And the question would be to me is that if they're all under the same YMCA, why aren't those things taking place?
Yeah.
Why don't we have the same services here that they have at the Jerry Lone, that they have at the Spruce Street, that they have at the Fulton, that they have at the Robin Hood, that they have at the, I didn't know Kernersville had a YMCA, but yeah. But I'm just saying is that because right here in this population, the YMCA could make such a difference. I know you and Ms. Fry are great friends, and I know that she does a lot in the communities to bridge that gap. And I think that this could be another piece to bridging the gap. And so
it's about partnerships.
I like that.
It is about partnerships, I think. And
so can we include you as one of our partners?
Absolutely. That's what the Y does. And, we have really, over the past, I would say 3 years, we have really kind of started to not rethink, but our new CEO came in, and I'm sure you've met Stan Law before, and
I met him.
he is a great man. But when you talk about equity and equality across all of our branches, we need to make sure that our services are equal at all of our branches. So no matter where you go, you have the same experience. And so we have revamped kind of our staffing model to once we're back up to our pre-COVID levels, you'll start to feel that a little bit more. But, as you mentioned, Sheriff, partnerships are huge in our community, and it really is what will close the gap on a lot of things much quicker. You can't do it alone.
You can't.
As a on a team and playing sports, you can't do it alone. You have to rely on your team members. It's the same in communities, and it's the same with partnerships. And so we have to rely on each other. We're never going to be the expert. The Y isn't going to be an expert on everything, so we have to rely on partners. Now, are there some things that we might have a little bit more experience in? Yes, but for those that we can't, there's still a lot that we can bring to the table as a community to really help all aspects of our community, to help them in spirit, mind, and body.
I love what I'm hearing. I got to find out who invited you. We need to give that person a raise because I promise you, I see this partnership a lot bigger than probably what you think it is, right? Because I realize that there are so many things in our community that partnerships will bridge the gap.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in this position 2 years, this March, 2 years, 3 months. And I see myself sometimes seeing social issues, and I say this constantly, social issues that if we don't catch them now will become criminal issues. And I ask myself, well, how do we bridge that gap? How do we stop those things from becoming criminal issues? And what I'm finding is that the partnerships are missing. What I'm finding is that we have to have this village approach that we all can bring something to the table to close the gap. And, for you and I to be sitting here having this conversation is amazing to me, because I'm sitting here saying to myself, and I hear people saying all the time, well, what are we going to do with our youth? What are we going to do with our children? What are we going to do with them? We've got to find something for them to do. Well, there's a lot of somethings for them to do. The YMCA has space. It has exercise. It has a pool. It has a gym. It has so many things that we could channel that energy into kids. If it's nothing else, but we can have a mentoring program where we're teaching kids the correct way to swim. We're teaching kids the correct way to speak. We're teaching kids the correct way to use a weight room. There's so many life skills that we could teach kids, teenagers in the confine of a YMCA. And so I'm excited about this. I really am, because when we were talking out in the hallway, my mind was thinking, okay, I know what she does, but how do we...
You're thinking, God, this is going to be a boring interview.
No. No, I knew it wasn't going to be boring, because I saw you downstairs when you came in, and I watched people and their energy. So I knew we could be talking about how you tie shoes, and based on your energy, we was going to make that exciting between the two of us. So I knew it wasn't going to be boring, but I didn't know that sitting here, we were going to be able to generate this partnership to where you're telling me that we can start to talk about some mentoring programs where people having access to the YMCAs across this county. To me, that's huge.
It is. And and there's so much as a community partner. I think, and I'll, in my 25 years in Winston, I think there's lots of opportunities where people say, our organization is going to tackle this. Our organization is going to tackle this. And I feel like that's where we don't make any headway in any sort of issues. Whereas if we would be vulnerable and say, I don't have the answers to it, but to collectively, let's sit down and figure out how this is going to work to help strengthen our community and lift everyone up. And so I'm here to say we are ready to be vulnerable, and we are ready to be partners at the table to help our community in social issues.
I love that. One of the things that we always talk about around here is teamwork. We talk about everybody has a voice. There's so many times people look to me for the answers. I don't have the answers all the time. I don't. And I'll quickly say, hey, I don't have the answers, but how do we figure it out? Let's bring our resources to the same table. Let's sit and figure out, how do we make this community better? I grew up in Winston. I was born and raised here, product of the 60s. And I always talk about, I remember the YMCA on Patterson. I remember the Carolina Theater. I remember the Robert E. Lee Hotel. I remember the Mothers and Daughters.
What's the department store that was like right there on 4th Street?
Mothers and Daughters.
Is that mother-daughter building? Okay.
Mothers and Daughters.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, I remember Mothers and Daughters. I remember so many things here. The Shoe Shine Parlor, Harding Shoe Shine Parlor, Mr. Best would shine the shoes, community shoe store. So many things in the community that I remember growing up. Ray's Fishbone on Patterns. I could go on Zestos. I could go on forever the things that I grew up seeing. Imperial Barbershop. But anyway.
Carter's Bookstore.
Yeah, exactly. All these things, actually know them very well. Their son, Derek. Derek.
We used to work together.
Yeah, Derek and I, we lived together. We went to rookie school together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we started with the police department together. I've been knowing Derek forever. The McCarters as well. Matter of fact, they live beside my auntie. But anyway, I remember this community growing up here. I remember leaving, going away to college. I remember coming back, going to work here. I remember leaving again, going to work for the federal government. I remember coming back here. And what I'm saying is that each time I left and came back, I saw some things stayed the same while others changed. I realized that some things became stagnant. And I said to myself, how do we change and bridge those gaps? How do we bridge that crossing 52? And the YMCA, and like you said it best, you could actually be on a treadmill and the CEO of a company is on the treadmill beside you. And the person beside that person could be someone that is on subsidized income. There's so many, the diversity that you see in the YMCA is amazing. And what I realized is that, and I found in my walks while being in this public position, is that there are so many people in this community are just looking for ways to help. They're just looking for someone to say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And so I think that this is the beginning of a great partnership, because I think that we could change some things and bridge some gaps. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I am as well. I mean, I think it's we all want to make everyone better in our community, and so how can we collectively do that? And how can we continue to bridge that divide? And so the divide becomes, hopefully very soon, not there anymore.
I'm glad you're over there now. I really am, because I can sense this. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. There's so much that can be done in our communities that I think lots of organizations have tiptoed in, or they've tried to go it alone. And again, I think partnerships are the way of the future, and that and to work collectively for the common good is where we're going to make the most traction.
You said something that sparked another thought when you said tiptoe. That's what I find. There's so many issues that we want to tiptoe around rather than just walk into them and let's sit down and have conversation. I think that's where the magic takes place, at having real conversation, real dialogue, to be able to talk about some things. Okay, hey, here's some issues that we're having here. Let's talk about them. How do we get better? I was listening to the news this morning while I was getting dressed, and they had Miss Obama on there, and she was talking about her new show that she's talking about with kids.
Her new cooking show.
A cooking show, right? And they were asking her about COVID. How has she been doing during COVID? And she talked about how she had a touch of depression based on the issues that were happening with COVID, as well as the social unrest. And I started thinking about what she said, that comment that she made. And she was saying, you cannot deny what you're feeling and what people are feeling. And we all are feeling something, because we're in a place in our society that we've never been in before. We've never had two pandemics strike us at the same time. We've never seen nothing like COVID before. And then here we are in this social unrest. So you got two pandemics striking at the same time. Both are highly contagious, and both are very deadly. And so you ask the question is that, okay, we have the Pfizer, the Moderna shot, the Johnson & Johnson, that is making us better when it comes to COVID. Now we're dealing with that now we've got to actually turn our attention on how do we deal with the social unrest? How do we deal with so many issues in our society that we've never really dealt with, that a shot in the arm is not going to fix? But here we are now. I think that the YMCA can play a great part in the resources in bringing this, people coming together in spirit and mind. I want you to know how much I really appreciate you today, because you have truly got my wheels a turning. I've been out of pocket for about a week now dealing with some issues, family issues, but you really have regenerated me to, hey, let's get back in the game. Let's get back into doing what we came here to do, make a difference.
Okay.
So,
and our prayers are with you and your family.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do. So anything you want to share with me, you want to say before you go? Because
I just think our mission is helping all people reach their God-given potential in spirit, mind, and body. And that is our mission that we live every day, every single day. And all is a key word in that mission statement. And so we just look forward to continuing to live out that mission.
Yeah.
And partnering with you in that.
Well, you know what? I don't know who hired you, who brought you, but they made the right choice, because I can see that your heart and you about the business of bridging the gap. You're about the business of making this community better. And so I appreciate you in the position that you're in. I appreciate you for coming by, showing us that, hey, you are a part of this partnership that we're trying to build. So I want to thank all of you for what you do in the community. I want to thank you for watching us at Off the Cuffs. And this is the kind of partnerships that we need. This is the kind of relationship that we've got to build across our community to make us better than what we are and to get us where we want to be. So as we keep building partnerships, we keep doing the things that we do, I really believe that we're going to be better than we were yesterday, and we're going to be greater than we ever imagined. So once again, thank you for being with us Off the Cuffs. I want to thank you, Ms. Collins, for coming by.
Thank you,
Always, you're welcome here, and I want you to know that we truly are going to begin this partnership. Thank you, and I appreciate you for being with us.